Hello, I'm Bood FM and welcome to part 2 of my personal save with Ayr United. Thanks for joining me. If you're brand new, hopefully by the end of this, you might become a subscriber. Go and check out all my other content and smash that like button while you're there. If you're already a subscriber, as always, thanks for checking out one of my videos, and if you enjoyed part 1, thanks for coming back. I don't imagine everyone's going to come back for it. It is just my personal save that I am having loads of fun with. I'm absolutely loving being in Scotland with Ayr United. Got a newfound love for Scottish football, and I'm enjoying it way more than I thought I was going to be enjoying it. So like I said, well, in episode 1, I showed you the first 3 years. Well, I've now played another 3 years, so I'm basically just going to show you what I've been doing, and maybe you can get some tips from it. It's been a crazy ride, and I can't wait to tell you what's been happening. So smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, make sure you hit that notification bell. Let's get into it. Let's start with a quick recap, just a quick explanation of where I'm up to. You start off at the beginning of the game in the third tier of Scottish football. I pretty much kept the same squad, signed a couple of players on a free, and we won the league by a canter. The first year was really easy. And like I said though, what I've loved about this is every year you'd probably lose half your squad because of the short-term contracts, and basically all you can do is try and hopefully get some guys on a free and some loan players and hope it connects and clicks. So in the second year we had to rebuild the squad again. I won the league, I won the championship by a point, and then went up to the Premier League for the last year, and again I had to rebuild the squad. And I think we kind of took the league by storm, if I'm honest, because we finished third, so we got into Europe. So going into year 4, we're in Europe, but I had to start again and rebuild the squad. Now we had a few £1 million in the bank, and we also had obviously the rise in our reputation because we were in the Europa League. Obviously we had to go through all the qualifiers, but it kind of brought up a better player, I think, and I really went to town. I spent 1.4 million, actually bought 2 players, and I managed to bring some money in as well. I sold some good players, 2 of the lads who've done really well for me, 3 of the lads pretty much who've done really well for me, I got okay money for. So we kind of broke even, but again it's all loans. So I got a guy from Nice on loan. It is quite hard getting loans now, I'll be honest with you, because we've had Brexit, and the Brexit we had was a pretty tough one. So basically when it comes to foreign players now, I'm struggling. So you'll see in the next few years, any kind of player I'm getting is usually British. And next player, I got this fella who was pretty good for me, Tatten Vin, who was alright, scored 8 goals. Danny Phillinson, defender centre, didn't really figure too much. Sam Tandy, played the whole season for me, really good right back. Tony Gallagher, again he played most of the season for me at left back. We've got this fella Joel, I can't say his name, not got a clue. I think got from Man City, he was alright though. Dan Bradley, pants player. I signed him on a free, I don't know why, he's rubbish, proper bad. Next player, Ryan Cockclough. I signed him, actually kept him for a while, I'll find out about him later. But he was a good signing for me, did okay. Callum Camps, again another good player who I was really happy with. He only cost 300 grand. Next player was Lewis McLeod of the Clan McLeod. All round good player, midfielder, Scottish, well happy with him. Gary Hooper used to be good, didn't he? He's not that good now, getting on a bit, but he was good. Matthew Connolly, yeah, he's alright. Michael Jacobs signed on a free, really happy with this lad, thought he was really good for this level. Dwight Gale, now I was buzzing with this, he scored me 18 goals this season. Got him on loan, didn't I? I mean, he's 31 now, but I think he's decent, especially in like English Championship level. So he was great in the Scottish Premier League, well happy with him. Charlie Adam, he was alright. He was alright. Getting on a bit, but he did alright for me that season. Trevor Carson, good all-round goalkeeper. Really impressed with this fella. Again, in his 30s, but his stats were great for Scottish football. Next player was Paul Hanlon. Fantastic. Buzzing with this lad. I'm not lying. Only cost me 100 grand for my Hibernian. I think he's great. And the thing is, his value only goes up. You'll find out later with that as well. So obviously I got rid of some players. We got some money in for some of these lads. But how did I do? Were we successful? Did we finish third again? Well, first let me show you what we did in other areas. And to be fair, We did alright in the Scottish League Cup. We actually got to the final. We faced Celtic and got beat in the final, but we got to another final. Now this is our second final. We got to the Iron Brew final when we were lower down. We got beat in the final there, and then we got to another final and we got beat. So nearly twice won as a trophy. But whenever you come up against Rangers or Celtic, it's tough. In the Scottish Cup, like the FA Cup, we didn't do too bad. We got to the semi-final. Had a pretty easy running up until Hibernian, and then that was quite close. Only beat us in extra time, so disappointed. We didn't get to another final. When it came to Europe, it's a lot of qualifiers for us. I mean, even though we finished third, I don't know if that's our reputation as well, but that's 3 lots of qualifiers with 2 games in each qualifier. And obviously we didn't get through, which was disappointing. We liked to at least got to the group stages. And when it came to the league, we didn't do as well, which is surprising really. I don't know if maybe that first year in the league, I signed a lot of players and they just clicked. You never know how players are going to click and get on with each other and fit your system, because I just have a system and they have to fit to it or they don't. I'm not a big believer in players have to be green. I don't believe that's true at all. A lot of players do that, I don't. But this year I just don't think it, even though I thought I had a really good squad, I thought my team was better, with likes of Dwight Gale and so on. But we finished 4th. Now we'd also finally moved into our new stadium, which looks alright in the 3D engine. I just really enjoyed the old stadium. So obviously that was a 10,000 capacity, but only had 1,000 seats. Now we've got a brand new facility, which is only 8,500, but this is Scotland. But it's brand new and it's got top corporate facilities, so that's in place. That's something you can't improve unless you have a new stadium in it. So as long as this save goes on, keep hopefully trying to improve other areas like the training facilities, and the club can only grow. Going into year 5, my money was looking okay. Obviously we broke even in the transfer market, and we don't seem to be running on any kind of a loss, which is good. We're not making any money, but we're not really losing any money. But just have a couple of million in the bank, I think, for a club like us is nice. Hopefully each season, as you'll see, I can keep bringing in good players on loan and free. Over to year 5, and we're on the transfer page. Now this year I want to maybe just think of forgetting about anything successful this year. Maybe just let's try and keep things to a minimum, just try and get basics when it comes to players, and just try to save any pennies we can get, especially any European money, and think about the year after. And my plan this year was to really start taking it a bit more serious, expand my scouting team, start really looking at young players, not just in Scotland but in England, especially like the Championship level, because it seems like a few of them would sign. Have a look out, make sure I've got them ready on my shortlist, so if they do get released, I know. And that's what I did this year. I just made a freaking massive list of young players from all the lower leagues of England and obviously Scotland, with the hopes of saving up the money and building a super young team the year after, or to start at least building a young team that can really take us forward, instead of doing this every year, which is fun, but I don't think I'm ever going to be super successful if I just keep replenishing most of the squad every summer with freebies and loans. I think we need to start slowly building a young team that can grow together and maybe do something special, and that was the plan anyway. So this year I spent 350, but that was just in loan fees, just to push through these 2 loans, which two of them were really good. Really happy with these players. Let one guy go on a free, but brought in Kevin Morales on a free, on a 1-year deal. Not as good as he used to be. I thought it was good cover. Next player, Paul McShane, a very old player, don't get me wrong, but he's a good centre half. Look how good he is. Good leader, I thought, for 1 season. Good at the back, innit? I brought in a guy called Scott Fox, a 35-year-old Scotsman goalkeeper, great backup goalkeeper, can't grumble. Liam Cooper, another Scotsman who's only 30, defender, can play at left back as well, an all-round decent player, well happy. Next up I've got a regen called Chris Kenny, who's okay, one for the future on loan. We've got a guy called Cameron Cox, another guy on loan, again good, do you know what I mean? Now this guy, Mick Jordan, he was a beast for me this year, scored 17 goals, pretty quick, can finish, only 19, got a big future, got him from Everton. We've got Grant Keddy, again another striker. These 2 formed a great partnership. He scored 16 goals and they played together all season, got to know each other, linked up really well. Great young strikers, just a pity they're not mine. Next, James Garner, a player for Manchester United, who again, really good, big future hopefully, but in the Scottish League he was fantastic for me, played 38 games. Next up, DeMarco, I can't say his name, is it Dunic? Dunny. I don't know. This fella, he was alright, played 29 times for me, right back. And then we've got Gary McKay-Steven in January, got released by an American team. I think he was at Galaxy or something like that. So he came out of nowhere, and not only did they get him for free, he was alright. But he couldn't really get in the team. Couldn't really get in the team. When he did, he was pants. We signed him on a free, and he's worth loads of money. Got me thinking. Anyway, when it came to the competitions this year, we got to the semi-final again, so we get quite far in the cups. We're not too bad a team, and we got beat by Partick Thistle again. I thought we could beat them. I really did. I thought we were going to get to another final. Unfortunately, we didn't. But we did get to this final, and we did play Partick Thistle, and we did win. We won the Scottish Cup final. This is like the FA Cup. Luckily, Rangers were knocked out in like the third round by St Mirren. And we beat Celtic in the semi-final 2-1, one of the greatest games I've ever played. Honestly, it was amazing. This is like dance around your room time. Mick Jordan, that young striker from Everton, scored 2 goals. Brilliant, brilliant. I mean, they came back into it at the end, but it was too late. What was even better this year, I thought my squad wasn't as good. But we got through the qualifiers, didn't even lose a leg in the qualifiers, got to Group G, didn't go to plan. We did win 2 games, but we finished the group bottom of the group. We had Roma, Club Bruges, do you know what I mean? So it was fun. A lot of European nights, a lot of European money. When it came to the league, we finished 5th, and I'll be honest with you, the season itself wasn't very good. It was like, we started off well, I was in 2nd for a while, and then the big part over Christmas, right up until about February, we were bad. Like, I didn't win a game for a while, and then at the end of the season we just went on this fantastic run and managed to finish 5th. At one point we were 9th, so we missed out on a European spot from the league, but obviously luckily we won the Scottish Cup, so that goes straight into Europe, and luckily it gets you straight into Europe, straight into the group stages if you win the Scottish Cup. No more qualifiers, so that's a massive weight off our shoulders. We are straight into the Europa League next season. And what was also exciting was we finished that year with double the money we finished the year before, so my plan kind of came together. We did get quite a bit though in the Scottish Cup final. You get like loads of gate receipts and TV slice and all that. I think we got about maybe 2 million, I think, from winning the Scottish Cup, which is brilliant. So 4.5 million in the bank, really can start attacking that shortlist, and trust me, I have put one hell of a shortlist together. Now I could go through it, it is quite big. I've got key players from loads of clubs here. Now some of them you'll see play at teams like Arsenal and so on like that, but these are maybe I couldn't get. It was teams like the Championship. I'll be honest with you, one thing I found is the English Championship, especially once you're 5 years into this game and the regions start coming, there's some quality regions sitting in under 23 teams in the English Championship that Premier League teams don't want, but are well good. You'll see that in a minute. Players that are good enough to play for you in the Scottish League and also tear it up in the Scottish League. And then also you've got players who are at Premier League clubs who aren't getting a game, who are sat in the 23s, who are willing to come to air, especially now we've had a few years where we're at the top, and we've had a couple of years in Europe, so we're getting a European reputation now. This is going into our 3rd European year, and we're straight in there as well, aren't we? We're guaranteed Europa League, so it's a big draw now. We're starting to get that reputation, and I'm noticing it when it comes to players who are being available on loan. So the game's getting well more interested. I'm not hitting that brick wall yet. There's a long way I can go with this team. Now before getting to the last year, you'll notice Rangers have actually won the league the last 2 years. And Rangers have still got Graham Murty as manager, and just from the couple of Rangers fans I've got as subscribers, the guys who I talked to, I know they hated him. But on the game he's still their manager and he's took them to 2 titles. So yeah, Rangers have started to creep back to the top. So here we are, it's actually the start of season 7, but we're going to go through year 6, and I'm going to start by saying year 6 has been brilliant. It's really got me even more excited. I thought maybe by this time I was going to be getting bored, but I think all that hard work I put in last year by just scrolling through players. Now this is a tip I'll give you, and it's boring, right? It can be boring, but I have got Football Manager OCD, right? Now you can get all the scouts you want, you can build your knowledge up, and you can search for players the standard way. You can get more money, you can buy bigger scouting packs that hopefully unlocks more players. When you search for them, you're never going to get everyone. You're never going to get everybody. The only way you're going to get everyone right is by going through every single team that is available to you. Every Scottish team, every English team. Going through their under-23s, under-18s, grouping them, scout a lot. Scout them all, scout them all, scout them all in groups all year. Boring, boring. I know it's boring, but you scout them all one by one. And then you get them all in your shortlist. Add to your shortlist potential ability, current ability. Anything that's under 4 stars, just delete. Don't even look at them, just get rid of it. Keep all the 4 stars and above, and then just start putting it down into groups. Look at your goalkeepers, right? Who's realistic there? He's definitely not. Wow, how much is he worth? 110 grand? He plays for bloody Crew? Brilliant. Do you know what I mean? You can really find some quality players, but you just got to put the work in, and I put that work in. So if you ever wonder how I find players, I'm boring, basically. So these are the transfers, and I was playing this till about 3 in the morning last night. My wife was out of work to do, little man was in bed, and I wanted to get it finished, but I was loving it. Don't you just keep playing, you're like, it's 1 o'clock. And you feel like you've had one game, 2 o'clock. Wow, I just don't want to stop, 3 o'clock. I'm gonna have to quit. Honestly, I could have stayed up all night. I actually managed to bring in 12.5 million, and this is what I was saying about earlier. Gary McKay-Stephen was worth 5.5. I got 5.7 from Walter. And in for half a year, he was crap, right? I sold him to Wolves. Ryan Cockclough, who I signed for about 300 grand. He's had a couple of good years with me. He was worth about 3 million. I managed to squeeze out 4.7 from Bournemouth. Great deal. And then I got Paul Hanlon, that centre half I told you about as well. Another good centre half who didn't want to sell. He was worth about 1.5 million, even though I only bought him for about 110. From Hibernian, I think. Leeds came in with 1.9 million. I can't turn it down. I was confident enough in the shortlist I put together, so I did actually buy a couple of players, a few, but nothing for a big fee. Now what I did was put my list together. A lot of these lads were either in their last year of the contract or they're coming to the end of the contract and so on. So I managed to do some really good deals, managed to get some cracking players on loan. Andrew Stewart, a regen, and this is it, look at that for a regen from City. Hey, I wanted to sign him, no one having any of it. Even though he's had a great year with us, he won't sign. He had a great season. He's going to be amazing, isn't he? This is why I love Football Manager. When the regens come in, it's when the game gets fun. There's better players. You get better youngsters. I love it. I love it. So he was quality. Craig Thompson, goalkeeper, I managed to sign for £250,000. I think he's got a big future. I don't know if we'll be able to keep on to hold of him, but I think when we sell him, massive profits. And anyone I have bought, they've got like 20 to 30 million pound of these clauses in. So if they get a match, this club is going to be like, wow, imagine we sell him for 30 million. Hey, do anything. Tom Lewis, I got him on loan, defender, pretty good defender to be fair. Johnny Lewis, no relation, got him on loan as well from Leeds, he's alright. Isaac Mustafa from Tottenham on loan, cracking right back. See, this guy's just rotting in the 23s, available for loan, no one else is interested. Kevin Wright from Wolves on loan, a defender, and that's another thing, Scottish football, you can just loan. You could loan your entire team. I love it, it's so easy, this makes life so much easier. James Forrest, now the unflushable, my friend, the Dundee United fan. He told me about James, apparently he was at Celtic. I've got his little brother who's really good for me. He's now worse than his little brother. I got him on a free, I thought let's reunite the brothers, it'd be quite nice. He wasn't that good though. Alan Rutherford, the striker from Reading, good little regen, good backup striker. Henry Daniels, another regen, I've signed him. Look at his passing, beast. Mickey Jordan, we brought back in on loan again for a second season. Really happy we could because he was freaking fantastic last year. Stephen Connolly, a left winger, brilliant player. I wanted to get him again. They're giving him a chance in the first team. Adiek. Sean Keane, defender left, really liked him, really good player. Grant Keddy, awesome. I managed to get him back as well, I think. He's really good. Lewis Alsop, the defender, really liked him. Adam Jackson. Now, these are guys from Hearts. They had some guys that was contracts were at the end, and I just put in bids for him and got him, and now they're worth more than I paid for him. At West Brom, Reece Harding, left back. Yeah, he's on loan. Now, Lyndon Wilkinson, a sign from Partick Thistle. He's alright. Bought him as a backup. Angel Gomez. I got him as a left winger, but he can play like in the centre as well. He had a really good season. Great squad. Young squad, full of regens, what I love to do. First off, we won the League Cup final, beating Rangers in the final. Happy days. So we've now won. We lost this a few years ago, so we've now lost this and won it, and we've won the Scottish Cup. So stacking up on trophies, man. When it came to the Scottish Cup, Partick Thistle got the revenge on us, knocked us out in the quarterfinals by beating us 1-0. Keep getting one better. So the first year qualifiers to the end didn't make it. Next year we got one better and got in the groups. This year we got one better and got to the first round knockout and got beat off Atletico Bilbao. But it's an improvement, it's growth, and this is what I mean by more money. We've now got 7 million in the bank. So going into this summer, now some of them loan deals I managed to sneak in transfer bits because they've got like a year left on the deal, some of them. So this is something you should always do, be cheeky. Put in optional fee, right? And start off low. Honestly, you've got a lot of room for negotiation coming back and forth. They don't always say no straight away. Sometimes you can 4 or 5 attempts before you sign someone. So be cheeky, take a risk, honestly, because I've got some of these players who, on loan, not some of the good ones, like the lad from City or so on, can't get in, but some of the okay lads who want to play for us, contracts coming up, and they've got this release clause. I've signed a couple of them for year 7, so try it, man. And now I've got 7 million as well. I just need to plug them gaps, and this year, I'm thinking this might be the first year I can actually put a squad together with no loans. And the reason why I'm extra confident is because we bossed the league. We not only bossed the league, right, but Hibernian finished 2nd, Partick Thistle finished 3rd, Rangers and Celtic dropped off a cliff. I think Celtic lost their best player to someone like Man City, to be fair. About 20 million though, so they've got some money in the bank. Rangers I'm surprised with because they've won it 2 years running. But they're starting to really get affected, and I'm interested. If you play Scottish football, do Rangers and Celtic always dominate, or have you ever took another team higher up there? Does it start to affect Rangers and Celtic? The fact that I've not just won it and they've come 2nd and 3rd. Celtic haven't even finished in a European spot, and we've done a double this year. We won the League Cup and the league. Our reputation's got bigger. I've got £7 million in the bank. I've got about 75% of a squad that's mine. And I reckon I've got another good shortlist where I might be able to plug them holes. I really start building a good regen squad that I can maybe keep together for a few years, win a couple of titles. I'm actually starting to think maybe we can push on for the Europa League. Now before we finish, maybe one of the reasons Celtic have dropped off is because they've got this guy called Steve Aitken. I've never heard of him. If you're Scottish, you probably know who he is. I mean, he's average, isn't he? He was Partick Thistle manager, so fair play. But that's probably one of the things. Brendan Rodgers' quality on this game. When it comes to Rangers, somehow they've got Graham Murty as the manager. Still, I know he's won 2 league titles, but maybe it's time to move on. Because if you look at Hibernian finished 2nd, Hibs, they've got an half decent manager. They've got John Collins as a manager, and you might think, oh, John Collins, but he's a classic legend of Scottish football, and he's a pretty good manager. They did have David Moyes, because he was giving me some grief. He started the ball rolling for Hibs, I think, and he was there at the start of this year, because I remember him saying something to me in the press. But he's gone to Porto, and they've brought John Collins in from Morton, who he got promoted at the start of this year. So there we go, that is the end of part 2. I think it's been a success. We've had a few ups and downs. I think we plan to start building the own squad properly with regens. Has worked, obviously. We've done fantastic this year. Maybe it's helped that Rangers slightly dropped off a bit, to be fair. Be interested to see if we can repeat, especially because I've not filled these holes yet. I mean, like I said, I only just stopped playing it last night at this point. So there's a lot of work to go. I want to carry it on for me. I don't know if I'm going to carry it on for you. Let me know if you're interested in seeing a part 3. I'll share the next 3 years with you, because I'm definitely going to play it. Because I really think I can take this club on to maybe a Europa League if I can keep some of these players together. Because there's some good quality and some good quality regions out there, and now we have got a big reputation. We're in the Champions League. It's going to be a lot of fun to find out. I'm really excited for it. So hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you did enjoy this, make sure you smash that like button. If you're brand new, feel free to subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell. You'll never miss an episode. Keep your eyes out for my new Let's Play series, which is coming out soon, which I can't wait to share with you. And thanks for watching. I've been Dude. You've been great. I'll see you next time.